The views expressed on the Nova Society are those of the panelists and guests and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of the Phoenix Research Institute or any institution which any panel member is associated.
Welcome back to the Nova Society. I'm your host, Dr. Brooklyn Ann Weldon, and I'm here with my panel, Dr. Scott Gershwer and Dr. Mark Bound. Today we will be answering listener emails, and we have a question from Chizoba, and I hope I am pronouncing that properly. It could be Chizoba, I'm not sure, who lives in Puna, Hawaii. And Chizoba asks, judges are stopping deployments into American cities like Chicago and Portland, but the Trump administration is counter-suing. I listen to your show almost every day. Thank you. And I know you've talked about Posse Comitatus and that it is illegal to deploy troops in the U.S. proper. So I have a few questions. If this were true, why is it such a hard thing to stop? If it's against the law, why is this question even being brought up? Why do people believe Portland is on fire when on the ground news reports show a completely different story? If this succeeds in Portland and Chicago, where do you think Trump will target next? There are a lot of protesters protesting ICE. They are being labeled as terrorists. Could they be in trouble for protesting? Could they be deported? Excellent questions, Chizoba, and I am sorry if I am mispronouncing your name. Mark, Scott? Posse Comitatus.
All right, so first of all, the pronunciation is Chizoba.
Chizoba, thank you.
Yeah, I actually, when I put this up there, I actually went to pronounce the name thing, and that's what it comes up with is Chizoba. It's actually exactly the way it's spelled. So hey, good. And Puna, Hawaii. Oh, Puna, Hawaii. Wow, that seems like a world away. It really does, and I'm sure it's very lovely there right now. Why is this a thing? Because the Trump administration has a tendency to take laws and push the limits with them. And, push, what does this actually mean? Let's remember, English is not the most exact of all languages. Laws are written by lawyers, legislatures who are lawyers. If they were any good as lawyers, they would be lawyers, not legislatures. So they don't write as succinctly as they probably should. And there's a lot of room for interpretation left in it. And that goes to the founding fathers, too, who left a lot of room for interpretation. So he's pushing those boundaries. And that's why this question is being brought up, because he is, and he's been doing it in both terms of his administrations. He pushes the boundaries of what is social norms, things that we would have probably thought, oh, who would think to do a thing like that? Because we all know you can't do that. That's exactly what he goes and does, and he tests the waters. And yes, he countersues when he doesn't get his way. A lot of the judges that fight against him are judges that he appointed, and now he's not being served by these people that he appointed. And what a terrible thing that is. Why people in Portland is not on fire. I'm sorry, Portland is not on fire. And I got it for you. So if you watch Fox News, there was two reports that came up on Fox News. I caught them both. And if you had to pay attention, the first one showed what Fox News reported was protesters attacking a federal building. And they showed the masked people and all that and the little uniforms and all that stuff. And they were pushing back those lefty terrorists. And the camera kind of went up a little bit. The supposed federal building in Chicago, it was in Russian. So obviously, I don't know how many federal buildings in Chicago have writing on them that is Russian that identifies the building. Good question. So Fox, obviously, that one got past them. And the other one was showing the fires in Portland, burning cars and this, that, and the other. And unfortunately, the editors at Fox News did not cut this out. A cop kind of walked by. On the back of his shirt, in his vest and stuff, it said, Polizei, German. Wasn't Portland at all. So to the editors of Fox, if you're going to put out their fake news, at least make sure that you're doing proper editing so that when you look at this, you can say, wait a minute, that's a Russian building because it's got Russian lettering on the thing, identifying it. And, oh, I don't know too many cops in Portland that have the name that have the name for German's police force on their back. So there you go. Why people believe it? They're just not paying attention. Jesse Waters is talking. Oh yeah, look at that. That's Portland burning. Well, no, it's not. That was a riot in Germany. But people on Fox News, as Scott has pointed out so many times, are less informed than people that watch no news whatsoever. And
yeah.
There you go. And I caught both of those. Actually, a student sent both of those to me who had caught it. And she said, I'm confused. I'm confused. How many, I know your wife's from Chicago. Are there any federal buildings with Russian lettering on them? And I said, nope. And so there you have it.
Yeah.
And that's why. That was it.
I mean,
that was my rant.
Yeah, not a bad one. The look, Posse Comitatus is an old law. It was 1870s. The idea was that the South coming back into the Union, being accepted into the Union, didn't want U.S. troops down south. And so Posse Comitatus was adopted. The idea was that police do police work and the military is focused on other countries. They go out of the country. They're not operating in our country. It's very similar, I think, to the law that the Romans had, right? No legions in Rome. Don't cross the Rubicon. And so the idea is very similar. Caesar crossed the Rubicon, brought his troops into Rome. Trump is doing that now. The courts, local courts, not local, but federal district courts are pushing back and pushing back hard and well. It has been for America the best resistance that we've had so far. Like there's no resistance from Congress, right? The Democrats don't matter, and the Republicans have laid down for Trump. The courts, federal courts, as Mark said before, whether they were appointed by Trump or Obama or Biden or whoever, have roundly disagreed with the Trump administration and ordered him to cease and desist doing the things that he's doing. And as Mark pointed out correctly, he pushes that boundary all the time. It's a big part of what he does. If there's no actual law against it, he'll give it a go. If there is a law, but nobody's enforced the law in a really long time, he'll give it a go. And he'll do what he thinks he needs to do. And again, he watches Fox News. He is one of those people who is less informed than people who get no news at all. That's the president of the United States. And he is reacting to things that he has seen on Fox News reports. And he says, just look at the news, look at your TV. You'll see what I'm seeing. But what he's seeing, as Marcus pointed out, is fake news, sensationalized, embellished, made up, importing old footage to juice up the story a little bit. That's Fox, and that's why nobody needs to watch Fox, because there's nothing you're going to find that's true there. But Trump is a viewer, and he believes it. And so he thinks that cities are burning that are not. He thinks that Chicago, look, has issues. Every big city has issues, right? You pack that many people into that small an area, and yes, there are going to be issues. Is it the most violent place in America? No, not even by a long shot. I don't think it's in the top 20. But it gets a lot of publicity for it. It is a big city. It's a media center. So it gets a lot of publicity that, let's say, Jackson, Mississippi, or New Orleans, or some other places don't get. If the goal is to capture illegal aliens and get them out of the country, I'm not sure that I would start with Chicago. I certainly would start in Texas and be very happy that the people there would be welcoming you as a liberator and helping you out, pointing out where the illegals are living next door to them, and you can get them all out. But this does need to be resisted. This is authoritarianism that we cannot abide by here in America. It is something that we've never put up with. There are still scars that we bear collectively from the Quartering Act of 16 whatever, or 1701 or whatever it was. And we don't appreciate these people coming into our town and telling us how to do stuff. The craziest part seems to be that for years and years and years, all you heard about was states' rights and the rights of fuck the federal government. Federal government doesn't run things here. And now all these people are for the federal government going in and telling local people how to run their state and run their cities and stuff. So it's completely ass backwards. It's again, it's frightening to me because it's a sign of authoritarianism, totalitarianism, fascism, all of that. And this is not going to end well. It's already going badly. And there are people dying. There are people, losing their homes. There are people suffering unduly because of this. Due process seems to be an afterthought. Profiling means that if you see somebody with dark hair, you go, oh, that must be illegal Mexican right there, and you just grab them and put them away. In Portland, anybody who's wearing black is going to be a target because that's the uniform of Antifa, which if you've ever seen me, I'm pretty much wearing black all the time. I'm not a card-carrying member of Antifa. I would be if anybody ever told me where the meetings were. I would certainly go, I am anti-fascist. But I'm not in any kind of organization called Antifa because it doesn't actually exist. I don't want to be thrown into the back of a car, the back of an unmarked van by an unmarked man, zip tied and taken to Sudan or something like that. Like, this is not my America. So I'm very against it. I think we all need to be, and hopefully we can get past this part, and hopefully pretty soon Chief Justice Roberts will grow a pair and, begin pushing back on Trump in a really harsh way.
So who do you think's next, Scott?
About what?
As far as where does he go next? I say New York.
There's parts of New York you don't want to visit.
Well, same thing with parts of Chicago.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Parts that you probably, if you're ICE, probably it's the wrong neighborhood for you to be in.
Right.
So
yeah,
we'll see.
I think he should go into red states. I think he would do very well there. I think that the people would be more than cooperative, But I said the Portland thing is hysterical because when you hear Trump talking about Portland, you think it's so horrible and stuff, and then you see the people who were out protesting, and they had a whole bunch of kids with fishing rods with donuts tied to the end of them, dangling them in front of a police line, heavily armed police line, taunting them with donuts, and you see a bunch of people dressed up as clowns in Portland and holding signs.
Yes.
It's like it's Portlandia, man. It's that show that used to be on HBO.
Wasn't someone dressed up as a frog?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they had a naked bike race as a protest.
Yep. Yeah, and the frog guy, they went to his air hole, which was in the back, and they sprayed pepper spray in it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Here's the deal. ICE today, and we've talked about ICE before. I don't see how you would even want to be in this organization because, it's sort of like, hopefully, maybe in the future, this is going to come back and bite you in the ass. You're going to be identified as one of those. When the two Germanys reunified, it didn't go well for the East German police force. Did not go well for them. And I understand, ICE likes to keep their faces covered. And they say, well, it's to protect me and my family. Well, if you were doing the right thing, what would you need to protect yourself from? I mean, there's been sheriffs and police officers and that have worked without masks for decades here, because they were doing it the right way. They were following the law. They knew that they weren't, being looked at as like the Gestapo by the majority of the people, and they didn't fear for their families because they knew they were on the right side of history and the law. This tells me, if you're afraid for your family, for the job that you're doing, that must mean it's wrong. That must mean that, you're afraid of the potential consequences that could come back and bite you on the ass for the actions that you've taken. And, I hate to say it, but too bad. Life's tough. You should have chose a different profession. Maybe you should have went into the sheriff's department. Maybe you should have went into your local police department and actually helped your community through the local law enforcement, instead of joining the brown shirts of ICE. And hopefully once again, we've answered that. Well, could they be deported? Yeah, sure, absolutely. Who knows? They'll push that envelope too. So
yeah,
I think that's it.
The protesters could be arrested and deported, and I think that will come to include American citizens, and the taking away of passports. And at this point, I don't see really any limit. And I don't see the Supreme Court as being effective. And as we were saying in an earlier podcast, even if Roberts does attempt to control Trump, I think Trump will just ignore him. And there won't be anything that Roberts can do to stop it.
But you know what the best thing is, Brooke? One of the best clips I saw when in Chicago, the police department there wouldn't let Kristi Noem use the bathroom.
Yeah, I saw that. That.
Wouldn't let them use the bathroom, and restaurants refusing to serve ICE agents. Hey.
Yep, I saw that.
You want your freedom of choice. You want to, you know what? And they're crying about that. But you don't have a problem with somebody saying, I'm not going to make a wedding cake for a gay couple because that's their right to refuse service. Well, it's these people's rights to refuse service to your ridiculous police force that acts outside the law. So can't have it both ways, people. All right.
Nope. So thank you. And I am about to mispronounce your name again. I'm sorry. Chizoba. I hope that's right. Thank you for your question, and thank you for listening to us and spending some time with us on the Nova Society. We appreciate you and all our listeners, and do subscribe on the platform of your choice. Subscribing is free, and we look forward to seeing you again next time on the Nova Society.
The Nova Society is a production of Nova Society Media, a division of the Phoenix Research Institute. We'd like to thank our production partners, Buzzsprout, who hosts the Nova Society, Audacity, our editing partners, Apple iTunes, the largest source of podcasts and music on the internet, Spotify, the most popular platform for the Nova Society, and iHeartRadio, your source for all things music and podcasting. The Nova Society is available on all of these and other quality platforms listed in our description. We'd also like to thank all of our listeners. Without your support, the Nova Society would not be possible. If you have a question or comment, we can be reached at nova.society.podcast@gmail.com. So for Dr. Brooklyn Ann Weldon, Dr. Scott Gershwer, and all of our production partners here at the Nova Society, I'm Dr. Mark Bound. Remember, the true power in society is knowledge. Thanks for listening, and we will see you again next time.
Hi, everyone. This is JJ, the co-founder of Good Pods. If you haven't heard of it yet, Good Pods is like Goodreads or Instagram, but for podcasts. It's new, it's social, it's different, and it's growing really fast. There are more than 2 million podcasts, and we know that it is impossible to figure out what to listen to. On Good Pods, you follow your friends and podcasters to see what they like. That is the #1 way to discover new shows and episodes. You can find Good Pods on the web or download the app. Happy listening!